Oh, hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. Please let us know that you can hear us, that you can see us, that you can hear me smacking. This is my amazing mug that Victoria got for me. Check it out. She claims to hate the cat t-shirts, and really she does, but she also loves me, so she still supports my habit, and she's awesome. So, of course, I couldn't put just water in this. It's got a little margarita.
Really?
It's Sunday.
Drunken Sunday, day drinking.
Anyway, so I'm pretty excited about this. Love it.
Yay,
anyway,
cousin Julie's in the chat.
Yay, cousin Julie. All right. So we got a lot of stuff to go over today. I'm not wearing an awesome cat t-shirt today because today we are actually wearing our Penn and Teller t-shirts from today's Las Vegas AIDS Walk. Both of us were on the Team Rocks with our friend Dana, who was also an eBay seller and an amazing eBay seller. Just got started within the last 6 months or so, and she's kicking butt. And she also helps Victoria. She started as Victoria's assistant, and she also does still does some pictures for her, but mostly works on her own stuff. So anyway, we did that this morning, and
we're a little tired.
Well, here's the thing. Yesterday, I decided that it would be a good idea to go on this crazy hike with some guys, some buddies. It's something that they do, a group of guys. They asked me, I felt like I had to like prove myself and I had to like keep up with them and everything. I wanted to make sure I wasn't like lagging behind too much. So I pushed it really hard. We went on the Arizona side to Fortification Hill, which is like, you have to like go on these back dirt roads for like a while to get to there. And then it is about 2 miles up, and it's a lot of really steep hiking. And there's even some parts where you have to like climb some rocks. Nothing like too technically difficult, just like physically difficult. And let me tell you, I'm naturally a pretty she didn't go. I'm naturally a pretty athletic person, but I haven't been active, like doing anything for quite a while. I used to be really into cycling and I've been in a lot of different sports, but I'm not like in any kind of shape right now. But for what I lack in
fluffy is a shape.
Physical how dare you? What I lack in like physical conditioning right now, I make up for in like sheer determination and willpower. But that also means I hurt real bad today. But I did get up to the top. It was an amazing view of Lake Mead. If you are following me on Instagram, I posted some pictures yesterday. Great view. Coming down, there's a lot of like loose rocks. I did slip and fall, so then I hurt my hands. Look at that. You know how when you like fall on your hands in the rocks, like especially you probably did a lot when you were kids, and like your palms just burn. And I was like, my hands were burning. I popped back up and I was like, oh, I'm fine. And I'm going. And then I looked down and I realized that like my hands are all bloody. So it's kind of ridiculous. I like to think it's pretty punk rock. So, you know, pretty metal. So and I'm like sunburned too. And then I came home and took like a 2-hour nap. And then today I'm just exhausted and I can barely move. She says it's because I'm old. I say it's because I'm out of shape, but I guess, I don't know, whatever. I turned 39 this week. So I guess I'm getting old if that's what you call old. I still feel like a kid. So I refuse to say that I'm getting old because I'm not. And I don't really care if I do. I'm going to be the youngest 80-year-old there is out there doing cool stuff, wearing cool stuff. Doing some hip hop dancing.
Wearing ugly t-shirts at 80. I can only imagine how they're going to get better from here.
How dare you? Anyway, Laura says she senses a nap coming today. I don't know if she's talking about for herself or for us, but I have a bunch of pictures I have to take. After doing like all total, we did 17 hours of sourcing when Lorna was here. So we got a lot of great stuff, but I didn't necessarily get to like list a whole lot. Like I stuck to at least my 2 a day minimum for me. And I was able to do more than that as well, but I didn't get to do as much. I still have to take like a bunch of pictures today. Vicky spent
the past 2 days taking pictures. I have like over 700 pictures in the last 2 days. So I'm going to get started listing.
Yeah. And then she has data coming in the next couple of days to take.
Yeah. I only photographed all the hard goods in the last 2 days, which you're welcome, Dana, because she hates photographing the hard goods. And so do I, but you know, has to be done because there's a lot more cleaning and prepping and like board games. You got to count them out and place them out, you know, make sure nothing's missing. It's just a pain in the neck where you can, you know, a shirt is pretty easy.
Yeah.
So anyway, all right, I guess we're ready to get started. We'll jump right in. I see a lot of people here. We've got quite a few people. Let's see. We've got Donna Thrifts here. And someone from Summerlin. So we've got another Las Vegas person. I did see the Sin City Hustler on there, and another Las Vegas person, somebody from Summerlin that I've never seen that name before.
Where's that?
So Summerlin is where Catherine lives.
Oh yeah.
So
I was looking here. Elbogs from Summerlin. Hello.
Hi. Another local. Yay.
Nice to see you, Summerlin. Let's see, who else do we have on here?
There's quite a few people. Lynn's there.
I see Lynn and Tony and Rita. Rita, good to see you on here again. I think you're a new member of Boss as well, so good to have you here. Yeah, so we've got some solds from this last week, and I think both of us. I know I have some stuff that I had in the haul last Sunday that sold already. I don't know if you have any as well.
I have some stuff that I have shown in previous hauls.
In previous hauls, maybe not last week.
Not last week, but within the last few weeks, because we've only been doing it for a few weeks. So.
Right, and we want to try to do that as much as possible, like actually show you solds from previous hauls that we showed to you, so we can kind of go full circle and show you what they actually ended up selling for. Big Drift Thrift, how's it going? And so we've got a few of those, and then we also have, our haul is going to include things that we found when we were out with Lorna. We had to save some of those because we were obviously going to have to do our haul today. And so we do have some things that we saved to show you just for today to make this show a lot of fun.
And the haul is definitely always going to be something that we've acquired within the last week. So
yes.
We don't go we're not sandbagging. We don't go digging just to have the best stuff. So it's definitely, and sometimes it's a little bit of a struggle, at least for the sold stuff, because I try to show stuff that's a little bit different and of a higher dollar amount. So of course I'm selling the bread and butter stuff, $20, $30, $40 a peep. But I want to make sure that every time we do sell something.
Did you say a peep?
A peep. I meant a pop.
What's
Sorry. I don't know.
Whatever.
A peep? Shut up. Anyway, so I just want to show some stuff that I can, talk about a little bit, not just say, hey, this is what sold and it's a normal thing, And
here's the thing, of course, like she said, of course, we're going to show you the stuff most likely that's like higher dollar value and stuff like that. But I always put both of our store links down in the description. If you ever want to go, just click on, go to our stores. You can go, I think the best way to do is not actually through our stores, but go to our stores and then click on our username, the link to our username, and you can see underneath that it'll show other items or whatever, other items for sale. Click on that, and then that will show everything that we have for sale. Then you go down and you click on sold, and you'll be able to see everything that we've sold within the last 90 days.
Right.
So feel free at any time to go and see what kind of stuff we've sold, what we sold it for.
That gives you a good idea of realistically what people's numbers are. I mean, I'm pretty transparent. I know Katie is as well. So, I mean, not everything's going to be a home run, but
yeah. So when we're showing you stuff that we sold for over $100, we're not trying to tell you hey, this is what we sell all the time.
Yeah. I don't sell 100 things a week for $100. I mean, let's be real. Yeah. That'd be nice.
So, because my average is around between 50 and 60 per item. So I have some things that sell for a lot more and some things that sell for less. I will sell a t-shirt for $25. So
my average is just over $40. My average selling price is just over $40. But everything that I buy is used too. So, your average seller price is higher, but sometimes your cost of goods is a little higher than mine, and my average sell price is a little lower, but my cost of goods is a little lower. So we're very similar as far as our net.
My costs are definitely a lot higher, which brings higher sales. But again, like she says, it's the net's where it kind of balances out. Tony Gretz says she's been dying waiting for this show. Don't die. Tony, don't die. Don't die, because
we're not that exciting.
I don't know. I think we're pretty exciting. Come on. I mean,
we're fun.
Come on, get this. Come on. Look at this cat. It's real into cheeseburgers in space. Who wouldn't be? Who wouldn't be?
Cheeseburgers. Come on.
All right. She says she doesn't like cats, but really it's because she's allergic. It's not, it's more of like a
cute.
It's more of a sour grapes thing. She can't touch them, so therefore they're terrible. And I'm like, they're cute and cuddly, and I want them all in my face. I want to kiss them, I want to hold them, and too bad for you. Sorry, your life sucks.
Whatevs.
Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and share the screen here so we can get started. Vicky's going to start today off. So let me share this real quick. And here we go. Here's our first.
Okay, so you may want to show a couple of other pictures for this. But in any case, this actually sold. I took an offer for $85. Believe me, this was in one of our other hauls. It's a super wrinkly. The tool that I could not get straight for the life of me. It's just a true vintage 1950s wedding dress. Prom dress. It was in great condition. The photos are crappy. I will fully admit the photos are not great. It's really, really difficult, at least it is for me, to get full length photos on something without having too much crap in the background. I know there are better ways to do it. So it's, you know, part of it was hung on a hanger and some of it was on the mannequin, but it's really tiny and I couldn't zip it on the mannequin. So anyway, these are the best photos that were possible. I tried to do as best description as possible as well. So forgive me that they're not perfect. I know some vintage sellers are cringing at these photos right now. But in any case, I paid $5 at a garage sale. I had it hanging around for at least a month because I was trying to figure out how to steam the bottom and make it straightened a little bit better. But it sold within a week for 85 bucks. And it's going out tomorrow morning.
Very nice. All right, we're going to go to my first item. Now, if you remember, I believe it was last Sunday's haul, actually, that I shared this one. This is one that I had gone out garage sailing with Vicky. And, you know, usually when I go, I just assume I'm going to get to hang out with her all day, but I don't plan on finding anything amazing because I do usually find a few things here and there, but I can't really count on it like I can when I go to thrift stores or like swap meets and stuff like that and flea markets. But this was one thing we went, it was when we had gone to that one garage sale area where they had like 10 sales going and only one place was open. This was the single place that was open. I got 2 jackets and one of them was this Alpha Industries vintage MA1 bomber jacket. It was dated 1988. It's a military jacket. And let me get
$5 for it? 10?
You know, I don't remember exactly. I didn't pay any more than $10.
It was either 5 or 10.
Yeah, I know I didn't pay any more than $10. I bought this as well as a Marlboro bomber jacket that actually I haven't listed yet. So this one though, you know, is a nice vintage bomber jacket. And like I said, I just listed it. I usually, when I show you guys stuff in the haul, I haven't even listed it yet. And this one, I listed it and within, I'd say it was up for 4 or 5 days and I just sold it for $100. So I think that was a pretty nice, fast little turnaround and kind of in line with the size that it is, in line with other sales that are out there. So I was pretty happy with flipping this so fast.
Yeah.
All right. Next one. Sin City Hustler says he knows the struggle of photos. I'm telling you, that's one of my things is like I really worked a lot on kind of perfecting like how not perfect, but how I take my photos. But man, if I go back to like my original photos and like kind of the evolution of the photos I took and some of my really old listings that are still up, I've definitely improved a lot over time. It's taken a lot of work.
Yeah, the majority of my photos, I have to say, are pretty good, whether it's mine or Dana. Dana takes a lot of my photos too. It's the hard goods and the full length and long items that are just difficult to photograph. It is what it is.
And I avoid that by never buying anything that's long.
There you go. That's one way to do it.
Although you'll see in a little bit something I did buy that was long that I then gave to Victoria, and man, did she get a good sale at it. So just stay tuned. All right.
Okay, so this is another more difficult thing. I've had this listed for quite a while. I bought this at a garage sale, I want to say last spring, for $15. Finally sold it for 80 bucks.
Is it a blanket? What is it?
It is. It's an antique blanket. They used to call them lap blankets, sleigh blankets. A lot of people that sell antiques may know what we're talking about here. They're usually made out of mohair, and you know, some have condition issues. They're upwards of 100+ years old.
This thing is ugly.
It is hideous, but people will buy them and they hang them as tapestries and things like that. So I paid $15 for it. I did sit for about a year. And it sold for $80.
Now, is this one that you ended and relisted or did sell similar on recently?
I did. Yeah.
Okay. You hear that, guys? So I've been talking about in the boss group, I've been talking about trying to help people get into the habit of listing every single day if possible. And doing that either by listing 2 new things or going to your very oldest listings, ending them, doing sell similar. So it's a completely new listing. And maybe reworking the title a little bit, reworking the description, maybe changing the price around, and then doing that. And Victoria, she started doing it before I did, and she's been selling a lot of stuff,
a lot of stale stuff
that it's like once it's been up for a certain period of time. I mean, I can't really tell you a set amount of time, but let's say over 6 months, it's really going to push it down in the search because it's just not a fresh listing anymore. It's been around for over a year. And so, how much did you sell this for again?
$80.
So this was
I took an offer for 80, but I mean, it's been sitting for quite a while.
Yeah. And
that's right in line with what most of them sell for. They sell for between 80 and 110, 120. So.
Hi, Heather. Heather's here. She's from Oregon.
I sat with her and her son last year during eBay Open. We had a nice conversation.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, she's very nice.
All right, so that's really, I mean, so basically this was money center, and you recently added best offer to a bunch of your listings.
I did
right?
a lot of my. I'm one of those people that I'm just trying different things. I used to have best offer for years and years and years. I've been selling for like 15 years. So
yeah,
and then I got rid of best offer and I didn't have it on anything. I just priced stuff at where I wanted it to sell, and now I'm kind of pricing stuff a little bit higher and reworking listings. And yes, that was Lorna that pushed me to do the sell similar on a lot of the older stuff. I've always been one of those
Lorna.
List it and forget it people and just leave it there and price it for what I want it for. And now I'm just being a little bit more flexible, at least with the older stuff.
Oh, see you later, Tony. Apparently, Tony was dying to see our show, but now she's got to go celebrate her 12-year wedding anniversary. Wah, wah, wah. Boring. No, seriously, congrats, Tony. Have a good time. You can watch us anytime. So watch us later and have a great Sunday.
And to answer Lynn's question, I do sell similar and have new listings at 30 days. Yeah. And I've just been, and I've been doing this for a little over a month now. So now I have stuff ending. Every day I have 40, 50, 60 items ending, and I just relist as or sell similar for 30 days ago.
I'm doing it differently because I don't want to have to do this every 30 days. And I feel like with some of my stuff, it pays for it to sit around even just for a few months. So I am ending them, doing sell similar and doing good till canceled, but only leaving them up for a few months is my plan. So, all right. So let's go on to the next one. This is one that I shared in the haul last week. And this is one of the items that I picked up at the great garage sale that happened at the Silverton Casino out in the parking lot that they have 2 times a year. And this is one that I shared with you guys because it is a streetwear brand that a lot of people may not be as familiar with as something like Tommy Hilfiger or Polo Ralph Lauren, things like that, Polo Sport. And it's got like the Mudflap ladies kind of as their logo. Mm-hmm. And so I got this last week. They wanted 15 for it. I offered 10 and they took that offer. I listed it. I don't even know if it was listed for 24 hours and I sold it for $80. I did notice after I had already bought it and I brought it home to photograph it, I noticed that there was a little bit, it's not a hole all the way through, but it's a little bit of a wear spot hasn't quite made it all the way through. So I disclosed that, and I don't remember what I said I wanted to sell it for. I think I said somewhere around like $80 to $100. And so then I saw that and I was a little bummed about that. I was like, maybe it won't matter. And I listed it, and right away I think I got an offer for 80. And immediately, I listed it for $99.99. Guys, I list my stuff assuming I will get at least 50% of what I listed it at, because I do my sales 40% off, 50% off. I listed this for $99.99. It had not gone into the sale yet. I think at the time when I listed it, it was a 40% off sale. So it was still $99.99. I got offered 80. Immediately I accepted because that was more than what I was expecting to get because of the damage on the shoulder. So I was stoked. I had seen a bunch of different comps. So it's not like I listed it way too low and I should have sold it for $200. So I'm not bummed about it. $80 is a great price to get on it. All right. Yeah. Lorna says she's been doing this for over 6 months and it's working great for her to sell similar. So anyway, all right. So remember, guys, when you see this Kappa brand, let me show you the tag. Make sure you pick it up and you'll see the little tacky mudflap ladies. All right. Next one for Victoria, aka Pink Panther, aka my fiance. A dingo did not eat my baby. So go ahead, Vicky.
Okay, so this is something I paid up a little bit for. I paid $25 at a Savers 50% off sale. They had it in the case and they had priced it at $50, which was, not going to happen. But I paid $25 for it. I already sold it once. I sold it once and it did not arrive on time. I had guaranteed delivery on the item and it did not arrive when it was supposed to arrive, which was not my fault. I shipped it in the time frame. So in any case, the person wanted it for a specific gift. It didn't arrive in time. He sent it back. eBay paid for the return shipping. And so I was not out any money at all when it was returned because he had paid shipping initially for it. I had charged for shipping on it. So I relisted it. I relisted it for $15 more once it came back. And this time I am paying for the shipping. I had changed it to free shipping at $15 higher and it sold for $133 something, 133 change on sale. Yeah, 134. It's going to California, which is real close, and shipping's going to be about $10 priority.
I love it when I see that I sold something heavy to California. And luckily, I get a lot of sales to California, so it happens pretty frequently. But I love it. I'm always a little bummed when stuff's going to New York. If it's a heavier item, it's a little bit tougher to figure out a cheap way of shipping. But between, just regular shipping and using like Fit Shipper has been really great for me for shoes and stuff like that. Maybe at some point I'll do a video on like how I do Fit Shipper. But there are other videos out there about Fit Shipper. And I think what's the other one that you use? The
Pirate Ship.
Pirate Ship is a free one. Anyway. All right, so let's go to the next one. Now, this one is also one that I showed last week, and it's also a jacket that I purchased at the Great Garage Sale at Silverton. I got 2 of these. I got this black one. I also got a red one. Now, this one, I paid $20 each for them. These aren't necessarily jackets that go for a crazy amount. When I looked at all the comps, they were all like around, $60 to $70. These are bigger sizes. 3XL. My red one is a 2XL. But I listed it and I got an offer pretty quickly for $70. And sometimes I'm just like, whatever. It's not vintage. So sometimes I don't mind just like taking an offer right away and not waiting around for it, and just being like, yeah, I'd like to have $70. So I actually took an offer for 70 on this one, sold it within a day. He was really happy. I got good feedback for it. So to me, I made $50 in a matter of a couple of days. So I still have the red one and it hasn't sold yet. I haven't got any offers on it. So it must have been just that there's a guy out there that wanted this particular one. But again, I just got it last week, showed it in the haul last week, and immediately was able to flip it from $20 to $70. So I think that was a pretty good deal. Now, you ready for this next one, guys? So I've said this before and I will say it again. There are certain things I do not like to list. And what I found, rather than dealing with any kind of death piles, I found that, like, first of all, I stopped getting certain things. So I pretty much don't buy pants anymore. Occasionally I will go look in the jeans sometimes to see if there's pants. I hate photographing pants. I hate doing it. And because I hate doing it, I'm always going to put it off and they're just going to sit there. And so I won't even look at the pants. Occasionally, if I'm out sourcing with Vicky and I have some extra time because she wants to look a little bit longer, I will look in the jeans aisle and I'll grab them. It seems like almost every time I do that, I find some silver tabs or something else for her to buy. But for the most part, I just don't do it. And so I've given her a lot of stuff that I don't want to sell. Now, this is a snowsuit, basically a snowboarding suit that I purchased.
Again, super long. The photos are hard because they're long.
So they're the bottoms and the jacket. I bought this probably 8 months ago or so at the Salvation Army in Oregon. It was 50% off day. They had it priced at $50. I paid $25. I knew it was worth a lot of money, and it still sat forever. And then maybe like a week or two ago, a week ago, I pulled it out and I'm like, here, take this. I'm never going to list this. Just take it. It's worth a lot of money. You can make some money off of it. So go ahead. So why don't you talk about it?
I mean, I know I could have gotten more money for it had I held it out, but it was one of those strange sizes. It's vintage Nike. It's if you look up the ACG brand, it sells really, really well. The jackets, especially the newer stuff. This is vintage though. So this was 90s, but new old stock. It absolutely had never been worn. It was, it's crispy and clean and new without tags. So I listed it for $300 or best offer, and I had someone purchase it this morning. Actually, they paid $200. I have a 33% sale going on right now. They paid $200. They didn't even offer any lower, so they paid the sale price immediately.
Yeah, great sale.
It's going out today.
And what's funny is, this one is it was a 3XL tall. And so Vicky was a little concerned, like, oh, it's kind of a weird size. I wonder.
Very specific
She was wondering if she should sell it separately, like the jacket separate from the pants. And I was like, yeah, but Nike, vintage Nike ACG, it's a very the streetwear, the streetwear brand, like the streetwear community that's really into the vintage streetwear right now. There's a lot of dudes out there that are really tall guys, big dudes. And so I just thought, like, it would be better just to keep it all together. And seriously, like $200.
So technically it cost me nothing and it sold for $200. It did cost her $25. And I feel like the Nightmare on Elm Street album maybe that she stole from me that had the sale price for over $100 that could sell for over $100. So I'm thinking we're clear. I'm thinking it's fair now. She gave me this, I gave her that, whatever.
I know I lose a lot of sleep over whether or not things are fair. Anyway, okay, so let's go to my last one. Now, this is a jacket that I purchased at Broadacres, and at some point, hopefully in the near future, I really want to go back there. Broadacres is like a big swap meet flea market that happens here in Vegas every weekend, I believe. Mm-hmm. And so there's lots of different vendors there. There's a lot of crap. There's a lot of new stuff. It's like some of those booths, it's like, here's 500 bottles of mouthwash and toilet paper, and it's like weird, like there's a lot of sellers there who are selling like those, they get like pallets and pallets of returns. So it's lots of like new, slightly damaged crap basically. And there's also lots of like new clothing, but it's all like really cheap stuff that they, so it's just, there's a lot of junk there. But there's also some good vendors there who are selling like vintage stuff and
storage locker clean out.
Yeah, and there's one booth in particular that I really love that I want to go back to, that he has like, it's almost like a whole store's worth of like motorcycle jackets and sports jackets and jerseys and just all kinds of stuff. And I love, that's probably my favorite one. This particular jacket I got from a guy who just had like a little booth. He had some jackets. I think I bought like 3 jackets from him total. I think I've already sold at least one of them.
And he was tough.
Yeah, he was tough to negotiate. He was funny. I was giving him a hard time, but he was a tough negotiator. But I was able to negotiate down a little bit because I was buying more than just a couple of things. And I can't remember exactly. The most I paid for this jacket was $40. I might have paid $30. I can't remember. But it has like a little bit of damage on the inside and the lining, but that's not really a big deal. But it is there's no zip out lining is not in there. But it is a vintage, or no, it is. I took it out. Sorry for the pictures. I guess it is. It has like a zip out, like faux fur lining. And I thought it was a pretty unique looking motorcycle jacket. It's got this funky little pocket right here. It's got, and you can take the faux fur collar comes off.
It was a great jacket.
Yeah. And so it's been up for, I don't know, we went a couple months ago. So it's been up for a couple of months. I did take an offer on it. I ended up selling it for either $160 or $170. But like I said, I paid like about $40 for it. So I at least quadrupled what I put into it. So I think that was a pretty good sale. I was excited to get that sale in. All right, so that's everything that we have for our solds for the week. And again, anytime you want to, you can go and look at our stores and you can see all the rest of the stuff.
We just highlight the cool stuff.
Yeah, the fun stuff and the stuff that hopefully we can like kind of show you the kind of stuff that's worth, especially stuff like this where it's like, I'm going to pay more money for this, but there's some things that are just worth paying up for. And so if you have a little more capital to spend, it's not a bad idea to be willing to pay up for the things that you can sell. Anyway, all right, so that's it for that. So now we're going to go into our haul. Again, if you saw our Wednesday haul with Lorna that we did for the Boss Up and List live show, it was like a bonus haul with her. You saw some of the stuff that we got, but there was actually like a lot of other stuff that we
definitely held back, so we needed to have some stuff this morning.
We're going to go with that. So since I just showed that, you want to show a couple of yours?
Sure. Okay. So this is something that I picked up at a garage sale last weekend. It's just a little plush.
It's weird.
It's called, I know, it's super ugly.
Why is it space furry?
It's a vintage plush called the Hug-a-Bunch. I don't always buy plush, but I try to buy good plush. And this was a good one, and I've sold it before. That's how I know it was good. So in any case, it's called a Hug-a-Bunch plush stuffed thing, and it's got a little baby that it's in its arms. It's from the 80s, late 80s, early 90s. And it's in great condition. It's got 2 outfits. It's got one that it's holding and one that whatever. I paid $1 for it. I'm going to sell it for about $45, $50. It's very light. I'll just throw it into a poly mailer, and it's under a pound.
Ooh, it's my favorite punk rocker.
She has her baby.
My favorite punk rocker is here, the Violet Lemon, aka the Violet Lemon, but I like to call her an aggressive fruit. So yeah, it's got the ugly eyes. I don't know, but I've sold it before, so I knew it was a desirable plush. They do sell well. Very rare not very rare, but rare enough that you find the one holding its baby. They both have the original clothing and all that kind of stuff on. So just creeps me out, man.
It's gross. I know. It's not like I'm keeping it. Somebody wants it.
Alexa says she is freaky. She is. She's
a little bit.
All right. Do you want to do another one or you want me to go?
I'll do another one. Okay. So this was a find that I found when we were out with Lorna. So when we were doing our, multi-billion all six of the savers in one day, we all have our areas that we go to. So Lorna was here specifically thrifting for herself. So I kind of stayed clear of the women's clothing because I know I wanted to make sure she got a lot of stuff. That's what she was here for specifically. Katie thrifts in the men's clothing department and only stays in certain areas of the men's clothing. So I did a lot of the hard goods. So I did my circle of the store in the hard goods. So I did get some clothing. I waited until they kind of went through so I could, do the cleanup. I was like the cleanup car.
Christiane says, you just try taking that baby away.
So anyway, I picked up board games are still good, guys. And I know that Laura, who is in a group with Lynn, who's in our chat, sells a lot of board games and has talked about them in the past. But I like board games. I like good board games. Not the everyday stuff, but I like the different stuff. So this is one that I picked up. It was 20% off of $3.99. It's a pretty rare board game made in the US. It's called Rock and Roll, the Music Biz Game. It is complete. There are very few of them. It was made by a company called Symmetry Games in the USA in '88. And I'm going to sell it. There's only a few listed. There are none that have sold, and there's only a few listed in the UK right now for about $40 plus shipping to the US. So I'm going to list it for about 50 or 60 bucks. And I paid, 20% off of $3.99. So
nice.
And it's complete. I like it. It's in good shape. Box is in good shape too. Okay, your turn.
All right, my turn. So I'm actually going to start out with one that I'm not sure about. Okay, so at first glance, this looks awesome. This is a...
See, that's one I gave to you.
I know. This is one that Victoria gives me. Here's the thing. It is a women's jacket, or a women's like trench coat. So I don't normally buy women's, but some stuff I will. It just depends. I'm not sure if this was a good buy or not. We're going to find out. So that's something for, hopefully in the future, I'll be able to say, I sold it. But this is a vintage, probably 70s, 80s Eddie Bauer. It is
I'm going to say 70s because I will tell you my father had a jacket just like this in the 70s. Yeah. London Fog was the popular brand then, and God, they're hideous. But
and when she brought it to me, she thought it was a men's, but we looked at the tag, and it actually has the size 14 tag, and then when I looked at how it buttons, it actually does button like a women's, where it goes over this way. So this is definitely a women's coat, trench coat. It's got the faux fur lining. It has quilted insulation inside it, so it's very warm. So I think it's super. If it was men's, this is something I would totally grab and I'd be really excited about, right? But sometimes like the stuff that will sell really well for men's doesn't sell as well for women. The tag on this was $18.99. I paid it was 20% off of that. I decided to go ahead and get it. I wanted to see if I could sell it. So again, I don't know. If this was a men's, I would be stoked. I'd be thinking I could sell it for minimum $200. I have no clue what I will be able to do with this, selling this as a women's coat.
Well over 100, but I mean,
I hope so. I mean, it might sit for a while. It's like Pendleton men's stuff flies out of your store. Women's no go. So it just, Christiane says it's probably asbestos. You shut your mouth.
It is pretty freaking hideous though. But like Lynn says, her dad had one too. Definitely 70s. I agree. Yeah. 70s. My dad had one. Yeah, I have pictures of my father wearing that coat, a coat like that. And God, it was ugly then. It's ugly now, but ugly sells.
It's in really nice condition. And this kind of faux fur collar thing is super popular right now. I don't know about for women though. Like I don't know anything about women's stuff for the most part. I'll buy very rarely. I'll buy some streetwear stuff if it's cool. But this I wouldn't.
I don't know how. I do know women's stuff, and I don't know how that will sell because to me that screams men's. It's very masculine looking, and that's what so I don't know.
But some of us ladies like to take things a little masculine, okay? And maybe there's a lady out there who wants a jacket that fits her well.
It's a little bit faux fur.
How dare you? How dare you? Anyway, so we're gonna see how this one goes, and that's why I wanted to share it with you guys because who knows? Maybe I'll sell it for a lot. We'll see.
Yeah, that's a good one.
So another one. Now, this is something, I'm not going to sell this for a lot, but the reason I wanted to show it to you guys is because this is kind of something that maybe if you're new to selling, this is something you want to keep an eye on. So the Kentucky Derby comes, I think it's the beginning of May, right?
And end of April, beginning of May, something like that.
I think it's like May 5th.
Coming up soon.
I'm pretty sure it's like May 5th. People get really into the Kentucky Derby. And so if, for one thing, if you have anything Kentucky Derby right now, make sure you list it. Make sure you keep an eye out, like T-shirts and stuff like that. Like people will buy it. So this is not Kentucky Derby, and it's not even vintage, but it's a Breeders' Cup T-shirt, 2012. I think I should be able to sell it for like about 25 bucks or so. Because the truth is, the Breeders' Cup doesn't happen. It's like in the fall. I think it's like in November. But even other horse racing related stuff.
There you go. First Saturday in May. See, we were just guessing. We could have looked it up, but
yeah, there you go.
Christine.
There you go. And Christiane,
I'm sorry.
Or if you can't handle that, you can call her Chris.
I'm too far away. I'm blind. I couldn't see the A.
Anyway, so my hope is that I'll be able to sell this for like 25 bucks. It's but I wanted to show it to you guys just because, pay attention to horsey stuff. Horsey stuff in general, I feel like sells well, like vintage stuff.
Yeah.
But especially when it gets close to Kentucky Derby time, people are buying that stuff up.
Mm-hmm. And the big old hats.
Yeah, big old hats.
Yep.
All right, why don't you go ahead?
All right, so Let's see.
Hey, Dorothy in his house. And Christiane is a Kentucky girl, so she knows her biz.
See, she knows what she's talking about.
I would like you to somehow get me a hot brown to my plate in front of me so I could eat that. I've never had one, but I hear they're good. And any food
I don't even know what she's talking about.
It's like an open face sandwich that has a bunch of gravy on it. And to me, that sounds amazing. And it's like kind of like it's like a Kentucky mainstay, right? Am I crazy here? Tell me I'm right, Christiane.
I don't know. Sin City Hustler, do you guys do best offer or just buy it now? Katie does best offer on everything, and I do best offer on most items over like $50.
Yeah, but I would say probably
everybody's different.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe half of my stuff sells just at whatever price I have it at, and then maybe half of my stuff sells through best offer. But I price everything with a little padding so that I can negotiate. Christiane says sloppy mess. That's a hot brown.
Okay, so one of the things that I picked up, I've mentioned before, I love pinup clothing in general. There is this huge festival coming up this weekend here in Vegas called Viva Las Vegas, which is one of the country, if not international, biggest pinup and rockabilly festivals. Unfortunately, I snoozed too long and I waited too long to get tickets, and now the day that I wanted to go was sold out, so I'm really bummed. But in any case, I love the clothing. I wear the clothing, so I know what brands sell. And this happens to be a brand. It's Betty Page brand, Betty Page, which is now all sold under the name Tatiana. So while it's not vintage, this is the older line. So I picked up this dress. It's a really cute print. It's extra large. The bigger, the better. The sizes as far as these go. A lot of bigger girls like the pinup clothing style.
I assume that this would look awesome with like a red belt.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Because it's got the little red thing up here.
Or red shoes.
Yeah.
There's really no place for a belt, but yeah,
red
red
over
shoes.
the top. Come on.
Anyway,
I'm an expert in feminine clothing, don't you know?
Anyway, this was 20% off of $12.49. I'm going to sell this for about $79 or $89. So
nice.
Anyway,
anything else?
Yeah, so that's one. And then this is another dress that I picked up. This is vintage. Well, this is not rockabilly. This is vintage gunny sacks. So Jessica McClintock gunny sacks made in the USA.
That's the brand?
Yep.
Okay.
GUNNESAX, made in the USA. So this is what the tag looks like. I think. Can you see that?
Yep. Yeah, it looks like it's trying.
So I did pay up for this one a little bit. I paid $20. It's a lightly boned top. It's really well made. It's long and a full skirt and this cool plaid.
Ooh, it's got like
it's got the petticoat and the netting underneath it. So it could be it's more 80s. This is early 80s, this tag and this style. So I paid $20 for this. It's a small size, which most of the stuff from the 80s is. But I'm going to list this and sell it for around $75 or $80 as well.
Nice.
And yeah, what size is this? It's a size 9. So it's a junior size 9, which is like a junior size 5 or 7 now because people got bigger and the size has shrunk numbers. So
yeah. I gotta say, as much as I love finding something good, like super, super cheap, I actually have an appreciation for some of the stuff that's priced a little higher because there are a lot of people out there who aren't willing to spend $20 on one item in a thrift store. Like they feel like everything in a thrift store should be like 50 cents or, they're just not willing to spend that much money. But as you do this business for a while, you start to really know the value of the things that you're buying. And so she knows that she can spend $20 because she knows she's going to be able to turn around and like quadruple that amount. And that dress, had it been priced at $5.99, it might have like been gone by the time she got there. But because it was priced a little higher, it probably stuck around for a little bit longer. And so personally, like I'm a little bit of a fan sometimes when they do price stuff up a little higher, as long as there's plenty of room for me to make money. It actually works out really well. Because if everything was super cheap, you'd never be able to score.
See, the Violet lemon. I agree with you. That dress would be awesome with some Doc Martens. I would love that dress with a cropped leather motorcycle jacket over it and Doc Martens.
See, I knew she was violent. Awesome. She's out there like waffle making with those shoes stomping on people. I know it. I know it. All right. So let's see. What else do I have? Where did I put it? Oh, okay. So I'm saving like the really good stuff for a little bit later, but again, here we go back to me and my animal shirts. These ones aren't necessarily like super fun, but I was kind of stoked to find these. Yeah, these ones.
God, I hate that expression.
These ones. Go ahead.
It's poor English.
Go ahead.
Anyway,
that's not English right there. Anyway, these are Ducks Unlimited T-shirts. These are I think that was like a magazine because these have the original tags on them, and this actually, like, I don't know where these shirts were at. Like basically it looks like maybe you bought the shirts and then you had to like fill out your little form
They do like stamps and prints and
yeah, you fill out your little form, and that's to get your membership to Ducks Unlimited. And you get like, you get a membership card, a window decal, and 6 issues of Ducks Unlimited magazine. I wonder if they'll still honor this. Anyway, so these T-shirts, they're made in the USA, and actually this card is dated 1986. And I got 2 of these. Oh, Ducks Unlimited was a whole organization, Heather says. I got 2 of these. This one is, the artist is Cynthia Fisher, and it's got some cool, I think these are elk, as opposed to bucks. I don't know. I guess I'm not that good. But anyway, so that's what this one is. There's going to be some outdoorsy dude who's nostalgic for his days of getting his copies of Ducks Unlimited in the mail, and he's going to want this shirt. I mean, I'm only going to sell it for probably like 25, 30 bucks. So it's nothing like crazy. And then I got this other one, and this one has like mallard ducks on it, and it says, this one is Ralph McDonald. And so again, it's got the tags. So I always like finding this kind of stuff. It's just kind of, it's going to go to like, it's a very niche thing, but I just know there's going to be some old dude who likes to hunt and wants to have his cool hunting T-shirts, right? Heather says these are funny looking ducks. They're mallards. Come on, they're pretty. The other thing along the vein of kind of weird shirts, I was really excited. I don't buy hardly any button-down shirts because that's another thing that like I just hate taking pictures of and listing. But occasionally I'll see something that I like. And so I also picked up a couple of these Banana Republic Safari and Travel Clothing Company shirts. Here's what the tag looks like. I believe
it's vintage Banana Republic.
Yeah, this is vintage Banana Republic. I've sold some. If you ever see this tag, I can't see.
Buy it. Yeah.
Yeah. If you ever see this tag on like a jacket, especially,
or a vest.
They do like
vests.
Yeah, photographer vests, like stuff like that.
$200 I sold one for.
Yep. So this is like a button, basically like a print shirt. This is like a ridiculous one with fruit on it and stuff. It's not going to sell for a crazy amount either, but maybe like 40 bucks. And I'll do like a good listing for them. I really like this other one that I got. It's another Banana Republic. This one does not say Safari on it, but it's also a vintage tag. But this one has butterflies all over it. And what I really like about this one, kind of like that bat T-shirt that I showed you guys on Wednesday, I think, it has like it's got like the scientific names or whatever of all the different butterflies. And it's like, so it's kind of like a scientific book.
We show the tag again, please, on the
yes. Okay.
banana, the vintage Safari collection, Banana Republic.
Yeah. Can you see that? Yeah, there you go. So these shirts I paid, they're $8.49 each, but I got them for 20% off. I think that this butterfly one will actually do really well. The fruit one is a little bit crazier, and that one, I've seen a couple of them. I haven't seen any of these butterfly ones. Again,
I like the butterfly.
There's going to be some really super nerdy scientists or whatever they're called, the people that biologists, whatever, the people that like study this kind of stuff.
Botanist.
Whatever.
I don't know.
You say botanist, I say
whatever.
Something else.
Nice slurp.
Thank you. Anyway, yeah, so that's that. So go ahead. You're next.
Okay. So
wait, Christiane says advertise that shirt for all the butterfly shows. Hold on a second.
There are butterfly shows?
No, there's not butterfly shows. There's all the butterfly shows going on. Please, there's all the butterfly shows.
There's a plethora of butterfly shows?
Something tells me Christiane might be a nerd.
You like nerds. You're a nerd.
I do. I'm a nerd too.
So last week I talked about a brand of shoes. Last week, the week before, I don't know. They're all kind of blending together. John Varvatos. It's just a high-end clothing and shoe company, men's clothing. I picked up another pair of really great John Varvatos boots. They're in fantastic condition. Really nice leather. I paid 20% off of $14.99 at Savers. I'm going to list these for at least $200. They're in great shape, no scuffs, good. They're very combat boot looking, but
they're nice.
Yeah,
really nice. A little bit dressier.
Really nice.
Shine them up.
So I'm excited about those two. And this is something, again, I've been leaving the men's department alone when I thrift with Katie because I let her go through the men's department first. But I sell at least 50% of my clothing as men's. And I love men's clothing too. And we buy a lot of the same stuff. So I kind of let her have her thing because I can shop in other departments and she really wants to. The name of those boots is John Varvatos, Varvatos as in Sam. Look them up. Look them up by Solds.
Chris is a nerd. Hooray! And Lynn says
entomology. Thank you, Lynn.
So an entomologist.
See, Lynn's a nerd too. Thank you, Lynn.
An entomologist is going to buy that shirt for at least $30,000.
Yes, of course.
Okay.
Clearly. Okay, so anyway, Goodwill the other day with Lorna and Katie, I stumbled upon this wonderfully priced jacket. It was priced at $7.99, which is kind of unheard of at Goodwill because clearly they must have been asleep at the wheel when they priced this one. But it is a new with tags Adidas Originals track jacket with the trefoil, and it is reversible. So the other side,
look at that. Look at that.
That's the back on the reverse side.
Now, Victoria is super, super nice in that every time we go sourcing together, we don't always go sourcing together. Usually I go by myself for my weekly sourcing trip. But when we do go together, she does let me hit all the men's stuff first. And every once in a while, the universe rewards her by putting a super cool, and apparently it's going to always be Adidas jackets. Like the jacket that you sold.
This was in the women's department.
Yeah, it's like somebody, like there's some sort of like Adidas fairy who goes and puts really cool Adidas jackets in the women's section so that she can find them
just for me,
just for her. So I think that's pretty cool.
So I paid $7.99. I'm going to sell it for over $100 for sure.
I don't know, Christina. I'm going to put in my title. It's probably going to say here. I'm going to say these ones shirts for all you nerds. I don't see what's wrong with that.
She says nerds like it's a bad thing. I happen to like
I love nerds. I am a nerd. I am a
Mm-hmm.
nerd. Don't make me bust out my my the pentagram game. I don't even know what it's called, but it was like the penta games. Is that what it is? I got my math trophy. I mean, I only got 5th place, guys. It's 5th place in math, so I wasn't really even that good of a nerd.
She's not a really smart nerd, but she's a good.
I am a smart nerd. I'm a very smart nerd. Anyway, so I want to give a shout out to Kelly. Kelly is I just saw Kelly commenting. Kelly used to be a fellow Oregonian, but she's actually originally from, I believe, from Texas, or maybe originally from California. But anyway, she lived in Texas for a long time. She's back in Texas now. Mm-hmm. Met her at eBay Open last year. She's super awesome.
She is awesome.
And I got to see her a couple times in Oregon. We were both back in Oregon. And after I had already decided I was moving to Vegas during 4th quarter, she had gone back to visit her daughter who was sick in the hospital in Texas, and being back reminded her how much she loves it there, and she decided, I'm going too. So pretty much, I think like a week or two after we left, after Victoria came and got me in Oregon, Kelly hit the road, and now she is back in Texas. And so
yes, a mathlete. Yep, she was a mathlete.
I was a mathlete. Yeah. Maybe I'll bust out my I was in
all the really smart classes, but math was always hard for me. I don't have a math head.
I don't like math that much, but I'm pretty good at it. So
I'm pretty terrible.
Yeah.
All right. Your turn.
It's my turn. Okay. So I got a couple more things. Okay. So the first one to do, so I've talked about members only jackets, vintage members only jackets. I think I showed a couple weeks ago, and one of them was like this teal. Didn't I show that one? That teal members only jacket?
Probably.
And I actually sold it right away because it was a really good size. But this one I want to show you because this is a gray members only jacket. This is like the classic cafe racer members only jacket from the 80s.
Butterfly boutique. I love the butterfly shirt. You would.
There you go.
Really? See, someone would.
Very nice. So the thing about the members only is they still make these today. You could still probably find almost this exact same jacket. They make the ones, they look like the old ones, but the difference is the tags. And so this is like the best tag that you're going to find. It is, and this one I think I got on Thursday, so 25% off day. So it was priced at $15.99. I paid that 25% off of that. But this tag, when it has the rainbow,
that's the vintage.
That is the best tag you can get. There's another
original one.
There's another tag that has the rainbow, except the rainbow is in grayscale, which is weird, and that's also vintage, but this is like the one that's the most popular. Now, here's the other thing that makes this jacket interesting, sort of. So if any of you watch the show Stranger Things, it's Netflix show. It's set in the 80s. It's like kind of a sci-fi thriller sort of thing with kids. And there's one character, I think his name is Steve on the show. He's the guy who's kind of a jerk at the beginning of the show. He's the boyfriend of the main character's sister. And then he kind of redeems himself later on. He's a cool guy. And he wears a members only jacket. Now, the one he wears is a little bit light. It's a lighter gray than this. So I'm not entirely sure how well one is going to go, but there was a lighter gray one that like went recently. They put it at auction, and it seriously, you guys, it had like 53 bids. It sold for like $180 something. And I'm assuming it's because of that, because otherwise there's nothing extra special about these other than the fact that they are just kind of like the quintessential 80s jacket, you know. But the particular gray ones are there's some people who are putting in their titles, they're putting like Steve so-and-so, Stranger Things, and putting like pictures of him too.
Can't do that.
Do not do that. People do it all the time, but that is what's considered keyword spamming. The only way you can legitimately put that in the title is if you literally have the same jacket that actor wore on that show, his body, that came from the wardrobe of that show, then you could say that. But if it is just, oh, this jacket is the same one like the one he wears, you actually technically can't do that. eBay could pull your listing, and if you do it too many times, you could lose your account. So just don't do it. Don't do it.
Someone will find it.
Anybody who's looking for that jacket is just going to look for a members only jacket anyway, so whatever. But anyway, so all the other gray ones I've seen listed, they're going for like around $50 or so. But what I've noticed is when I look at the tag, they do not have the rainbow tag. So the one that sold for like $183 or $187, that one had a rainbow tag. There's another one listed right now that's just to buy it now, and that one's listed for $200, and it also has the rainbow tag. So again, I might get lucky and have somebody who is just looking for a gray in general. This one's a little bit darker, so I'm going to try to sell it for like $100. But even without, even otherwise, should go for like around $50. So
no, you really couldn't put Steve. You can't put
just don't do it.
Style seen on Stranger Things. Definitely can't put that. I wouldn't put Steve. You're dancing the line right there. It's better off to be black and white and follow the rules. It's not worth losing your account over.
Yeah,
someone will find it.
Right. And again, lots of people do it. People do keyword spamming all the time. The streetwear
doesn't make it right.
Streetwear listings, it drives me nuts when I see.
They put Stussy in every title.
They'll put Stussy and Supreme in every title, whether it is actually, first of all, they're not the same brand, so they can't be the same in the same, so whatever. Just don't do it because it is against the rules. Your stuff could get pulled, and if you get too many things pulled, then you could lose either your account completely or just lose privileges within a certain category, and you just don't want to do it. And you don't need to.
Worth it.
You don't need to. The jacket that went for $180 some did not have either of those keywords in the title or in the description. Same with the one that's listed right now for $200. You do not need to do it.
Right. So what do you go ahead? Exactly. So I just have two more quick things I'm going to talk about. This is one I'm going to talk about again. It's another board game. It's a board game this is the first time I've ever found it out in the wild, actually. And it is the newer version. So this is it's Mall Madness. The Mall Madness older version, if you're able to find that one is worth a lot in the 80s. But this particular one is from 2004. This is new. I paid $7.99, so 20% off of $7.99. This does not have the shrink wrap, and the box has a little bit of damage, but the contents are still sealed, completely sealed and new.
When you see all the little pieces are like still...
Yeah, you can see like everything's still in plastic and all that kind of stuff. So the box is not in shrink wrap, and there's a little bit of damage on the top in one of the corners. I don't know what happened. It got a little...
The money is still...
Got a little cut.
Sealed up.
But I'm going to list it. There are not a lot of them that are complete even in this year. So I'm going to list it about between 40 and 60, like probably around $50 or so. Yeah, so I thought that was a pretty good one.
Lauren says she played that as a kid in the early 90s.
Yeah, there's the older one is from, I think late 80s is the one that's the really popular one. It looks entirely different. It's got a pink box that has pictures of real kids on it playing it. This is like got little, cartoon character people on it.
What was that game where it was like you go on like dates and it was like it was like Boy Crazy Mystery or Date. Something like, was it Mystery Date? Does that sell for anything now?
The old one does, yeah. That's one of the really popular ones. See, yep, Christiane just said sold Mystery Date.
Yay!
Same brain.
Awesome.
Yeah, so that one was really cool. That's a good find. It's pretty heavy, so I mean, I may or may not do calculated shipping on it. I'm not sure. I tend to just price my board games pretty high and throw in free shipping and just know that I'm going to send it the cheapest way possible. Yeah. Dream Phone, that's another one too.
Ah.
Yeah. So this is my last thing I'm going to share with you guys. This is kind of cool. I held this one back from the haul during the week.
I like this one.
This one I paid 20% off of $8.99. These are some vintage kids water skis. They're training water skis. They're tied together with a rope on the top and the bottom. So they're SeaWorld, official SeaWorld product, Shamu.
What's the date on it?
1995, so just vintage, pretty much. And they're kind of cool. They need to be cleaned up. They're a little bit grody, but they're complete. There's nothing broken. They're in good shape. The rubber's not falling apart or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I am going to probably list these for a little over $100.
I think they're cute.
I thought they were kind of cool. Especially because Shamu's dead, I think, right? And everybody has.
Well, the original Shamu died in like the 70s, and then they've used the name Shamu on
like
a whole bunch of other. Yeah, they kind of like keep bringing it back. I don't know if there's a Shamu right now. There probably is. I don't know. And clearly, there must have been one in the 90s.
Yeah, see skis that are tied together. Yeah, probably.
Yeah, I went water skiing for the first time when I was in middle school. It took a little while to figure it out, but I was able to do it. I was okay. And then I went again like a few years ago, and I could not get up. I could not for the life of me get up. And I finally gave up because it wasn't happening.
I have never been, and at 42, almost 43 years old, that is not the time to start. I'll tell you that right now. I'll break something.
Yeah. You can feel like your arms are getting ripped off.
Yeah, I'm good.
Plus, I mean, we've all seen the movie Jaws and Jaws 2. And
so Shamu is not keyword spamming because it's actually an official licensed product that says Shamu on it.
Right. It literally says shampoo. It literally says Shamu on it. It is, like she said, it's an official SeaWorld licensed product. So that is like a great question because that's a really good example of how it's not keyword spamming because it is literally branded Shamu.
If it was just something that had a picture of a whale on it and it didn't say Shamu and it didn't say SeaWorld, then yes, it would be keyword spamming.
Yeah. Hey, you guys remember Keiko?
No.
You don't remember Keiko?
Like gorilla?
No, Keiko was another killer whale that was like in Oregon and stuff. And they even made like a movie about it. Free Willy, that was Keiko.
Oh, yeah, no.
Anyway, so yeah, that's another one. If you ever, I always buy like whale shirts anyway, because I feel like, again, nerdy people out there who love whales are going to buy those. But if you ever find any Keiko ones, I found some really cool Keiko ones and sold them for quite a bit. But yeah, Free Willy, that was like an early 90s.
I remember the movie, but I don't think I ever
saw
Heather
it. Remembers because it was in Newport and stuff. But the movie, that was Keiko that was in the movie, had like a funny little, what do they call those, dorsal fin that was like crinked over. Yeah. Anyway,
okay.
What I am full of useless information, guys. So
font of useless trivia.
Yes, it's true. All right, we're down to the last few minutes, but I have one more thing I'm going to show you guys, and I'm excited about this one. I don't know how much I'm going to be able to sell this for. Okay, so I always show you guys my satin bomber jackets. I'm always looking for like vintage satin bomber jackets. Probably usually like the best ones you can find are the starter ones, the Chalkline brand, like that one I had last week from Oakland Athletics, Oakland A's. That one was really cool. It was an 80s one. But there's another brand out there that you can find them in, which is Swingster. So this is a Swingster vintage, probably 80s, potentially early 90s, vintage Atlanta Braves satin bomber jacket.
I have a Swingster bomber jacket. It's not a athletic team.
Yeah, so generally these don't go for as much as say a starter or Chalkline starter jacket will go for. But if you go and you look up just Swingster satin jackets and then look at solds and sort them highest to lowest, you will see that some of them do go for a couple $100, $150. So it just depends. It depends on what the team is and stuff like that.
Subject matter.
Yeah, it just depends. So they can sell for a lot. This one I paid $12.99. Again, I got this on Thursday, so I got 25% off of that. This particular one. Now, the thing that I'm excited about with this is if you go and look at Atlanta Braves jackets, they are almost, and especially like the vintage satin bomber ones, every single one I saw was blue. Every single one. Blue with red lettering on it. Just every single one I saw. There were some that were blue and red, like they'd have like a red sleeve or whatever. But I could not find any that were just red with the blue lettering on them. And so I'm actually thinking that I might be able to use that to hopefully sell it for maybe a little bit more than I normally would. Because if you're like a big Atlanta Braves fan, and you want to have a jacket that stands out against other people's Atlanta Braves jackets, I think it's pretty cool that it's all red. There's nothing on the back of this. It just says Atlanta on the front. That's made in the US, and I'm pretty stoked about this one. And I'm hoping at the very least I'll be able to sell it for like $100. Maybe more, we'll see. But again, I found this was on Thursday at 25% off day. I was super happy to find this because I didn't have like the greatest luck last week, because I kind of shop within a very specific niche, it's like sometimes I'm not going to have the best sourcing weeks.
And we were so quick. We hit 6 stores in that one day, and it was like a 45-minute limit. So we couldn't hit every department. It was like boom, 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 in and out. Hit your highlights. You know what I mean? So.
But I have been doing a lot more sourcing online. I just bid or did the best offer on a lot of vintage T-shirts. It's like a mystery lot, which technically you're not supposed to do on eBay as a seller. You never want to sell something that's just like, oh, it's a mystery what you're going to get. But I'm taking a chance on the seller. It's like a mystery lot of 25 T-shirts. And so I'm going to see, I figured like the worst that's going to happen is maybe I'd barely make my money back, but the price is pretty good. So if I can turn around and I actually get some decent shirts, I did tell them in a message, I'm like, hey, I'm a seller on eBay. If I get like a good selection of shirts, I will make sure to come back to you. It's like 70s, 80s, and 90s T-shirts. So I'm always looking for other ways to be able to source a little more quickly and hopefully have like regular sources I can go back to again and again. Because even though I'm selling one-offs, there are ways to sell one-offs, but also have them be somewhat replenishable by having sources you can go to and get stuff from regularly. So that's kind of like my plan. Okay, let's see. So it's 3 o'clock now, guys. That hour went by super fast. But thank you so much for coming and watching with us, guys. We're over 50 watchers right now. I wasn't really paying attention, so I don't know what our highest was, but I super appreciate all of you being here. If you are not subscribed to this channel, please go ahead and subscribe down below, just the subscribe button. If you really want to make sure that you know when new content comes out, make sure you click on the little bell icon that's right next to the subscribe button, because then you will for sure get notifications whenever something goes up, whether it's a new live video or something else. If you're not in the Boss Facebook group, please, please, please join us. The link is down below. We're a really fun, positive, supportive community, and we're all about helping each other, and we're really focusing on motivating each other to take care of business. And we've been doing our Boss Up and List virtual listing party every week. That's every Wednesday now. So on Wednesday, you should come, and if you're in the Boss group, you can take a part in that thread that goes all day. You set like your goals for the day and kind of check in with each other and get some support from each other. And then we do a live Boss Up and List show on Wednesdays at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So please come and take part in that. I'm not entirely sure what this week's show is going to be about. Still working on it, but it still should be fun. And so again, I really appreciate it. And please have an awesome rest of your weekend. Get some work done. Have some fun doing other stuff. Get your 2 listings in for today, either 2 new listings or end your 2. She'll be working, I'll be working. End your 2 oldest listings, hit sell similar, do a little reworking, put those back up. It won't take you more than like 5 minutes, but at least that's something you'll have done for today. And like I always say, boss up. And I will see you next time.
Bye, everybody.